Hi, this is Kathy Lafreniere, and I am the Individuals and Societies coach at Glasgow Middle School. This past year, Trisha Cotter and I, an English 6 teacher, and I piloted a humanities course. We wanted to see how we might be able to offer our double block English students access to critical thinking using historical and current day events. Our hope and vision for this course is to foster critical thinking skills that would not only help students and help support their reading progress, but give them opportunities to engage in high interest topics that will help them gain confidence in other classes. Before I share about the development of this course, I want to note that Trisha Cotter is the real pioneer behind this work. She took this on, and while we have had to pivot and come back to the drawing board a few times, her commitment and dedication is remarkable. We build this curriculum together, and as a coach, I try to be present and co-teach with her as much as possible since this is new territory for both of us. The intention of this course is to foster all the opportunities we want our young scholars to experience. The 4 wraparound pillars of young scholars are transitions, relationships, academics, and enrichment. Through inquiry and critical thinking, we strive to provide a space that is relevant and responsive and safe for them to take risks and access advanced thinking routines. And that is why we are beginning to offer this as an elective for young scholars next year. Our humanities description aligns with our vision. Highlighted in yellow is the description. It reads, "We strive to foster student advocacy and voice by providing opportunities to think about their world with a critical lens through projects, debates, and rigorous thinking strategies." We are not a product-driven class. The work we do is about the process, not the product. We want to honor that this is an elective, and students should have the opportunities to not only engage in collaborative conversations, but develop relationships. Next year, this class will be offered exclusively to 6th grade young scholars, but with a hope that we continue to build the capacity so that we can offer it to 7th and 8th grade and eventually all students. On the next 3 slides, I'm going to share our units that we have designed. And again, we are kind of flying this plane as we build it. Outlines here, you'll see we use an inquiry-based approach. And as we design the unit, we think of the concepts and the inquiry questions. We are also trying to merge the literacy skills they're learning in their English classes with the history that they're learning in history. Not only do we want to ensure that we are being responsive to student interests and topics, but we strive to be culturally responsive as we integrate current day events. So you can see the questions in the green are our inquiry question that we use to design the unit and determine which thinking routine we want to use. And here's quarter 2. And then as I showed you quarter 3, you can see that we have not quite yet finished determining what Unit 8 will be. We are in the beginning stages of planning Unit 7. We actually got this idea from our civics team, and we are being responsive to what the students are asking and talking about right now about what is happening in Ukraine. There are no tests in this course, and as an IB school, we are tracking the growth with all these characteristics. This aligns directly with Portrait of a Graduate skills and the pillars of a young scholar. We want to foster curiosity and reflective thinking. We want to make real-world connections to current day events. Here at the beginning of the year, students shared everything they already knew about the world. We use this type of activity to guide our instruction. And here is a picture of them. We try to bring as many diverse stories and cultures into our work. We use advanced thinking routines to think about events. We use high interest books and we pull out different perspectives. Most of the reading we do in this class, except for when they are released to engage in their thinking routine, is through read alouds. And most of the read alouds are student choice. Students have choice and begin to narrow in on themes. For example, they are very interested in Alan Gratz. After we read Refugee, we are now diving into Ground Zero, and that was their choice. Here is a picture of them opening up the book Undefeated, which Library Service donated to our students. And it is a fabulous book that directly ties into our curriculum. It's a very sophisticated read, and they enjoyed listening to the author read it. It's very powerful. Here are some of the things the kids have said about this course so far. My favorite one is the one in the middle, which reads, "My favorite part about humanities is that even though we are kids, we can fight for our rights." And here are some of the books that we have read this year. We want to ensure that we are affirming and using diverse authors, diverse books, and finding ways to weave nonfiction, historical fiction, and fiction into our curriculum. This is an example of a strategy and activity we used recently to teach kids how to engage in debates. We usually introduce new routines that are not content related. So here we're putting a debatable idea on the table. Mrs. Lafreniere wants to put parental controls on her daughter's phone. What's your stance? And so after they listened to both perspectives, they thought about these questions and thought, where do I lie on the continuum? And what we're trying to drive home here is that there is no right or wrong answer in some of these routines, that we want you guys to take a stance or a perspective, and it's okay if you change that stance or perspective. After we did this, then we used the same routine to think about tensions leading up to the Revolutionary War. Here's another example of us using this, same routine again. This one was for our media literacy unit, where we toggled back and forth between current day events and historical events. And after reading an article or watching a video clip or looking at a social media resource, they determined where that source fell on the continuum bias. So again, interacting with this routine has been about the process, not the product. So thank you. I would love to hear your feedback, your ideas, or your suggestions. Again, we are building this as we work through the year. We're trying to be as responsive as possible to the students and listen to what they are interested in. I welcome your ideas, your feedback, your suggestions, and we'd love to have you come visit. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is on there, Kathy Lafreniere. Tricia Cutter's the teacher, and Lawrence Randolph is our advanced academic resource teacher. Thank you.